Good afternoon, everyone. Today I only had one parking lot to plow out. As of right now, we got about 2 to 3 inches of snow. Sun came out, cleared up a little bit for a while, and then it's starting to snow again. We're supposed to get another 2 to 3, so I'm not going to start on these driveways until after this is all done. I just have this parking lot that I have to keep cleaned out for customers coming in and out. But I also wanted to go over a couple things today. There's been questions asked about on the business end of the snow removal and bidding on jobs and insurances and stuff like that. So I'll try to cover it as best as I can. I'm not used to making videos like this, so it's going to be probably a whole lot of editing going on just because things are not going to come out the way I wanted to say it. So I guess I'll just cover it as best as I can. As far as bidding of like a commercial parking lot goes, it all depends on the size and what I'm going to use for estimating, you know, because every area is different. My area, majority of the time, is about $75 an hour. There's other areas that's going to be about $100 an hour, you know, the farther I get away from the area that I do most of my work in. I'm going to use the $100 an hour just because it's easier for me to figure out. The parking lot I just got done with takes about 45 minutes to plow it. So since I want to be making $100 an hour, I would charge accordingly. But that parking lot, since it's a set price and it takes 45 minutes, I would not have a problem charging $100. So when you do get a big snowstorm and it takes you a little bit longer, an hour, like an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and a half, you're still not losing money. Now, if your area is always getting 6 to 10 inches of snow every time it snows, then you're going to want to increase that to like $125 to $150 for the parking lot, just because you know it's going to take longer to do that. And that's just on a small parking lot and with one person. You have a parking lot that's as big as this one across the street there, where it takes about, I think they use 2 trucks. It takes them about 2 hours. And that lot across the street there, that large lot, they charge by the hour. And let's say they charge $100 an hour per truck. So if there's 3 trucks out there, they're getting $300 an hour to plow it. But when you estimate, or when you give a bid on a parking lot like that, you have to specify in the bid that it's $100 per truck for the snow removal. Sometimes you only be there an hour, but in reality you had 3 hours of work. So that makes a big difference in your bidding on what's going to happen. Majority of the customers understand how that works, and some of them don't. So you have to specify in the bid what's going to be happening. And then also what happens when you get a big snowstorm in there, there's a payloader sitting over there, and that's plowing too, and that gets a different charge. That's even higher yet. It's probably more than likely like about $200 an hour on that, because it's usually double of what the truck plow is. So, and then when you're bidding on these big jobs, everything has to be in writing. Everything has to be itemized down with the plowing per truck, the payloader for pushing the banks up, and the salting. It all has to be itemized. One thing that I learned the hard way and what you have to watch out for is a corporate store, because there is several people in charge of how that store looks. The store manager might be happy with what you do. The maintenance people might be happy with what you do. But the district manager will show up and wants it done a different way, so you have to do everything that person wants. And then the district manager will change, and then everything will change again. So you got to kind of take that in consideration, and you just kind of agree to it and charge accordingly for the next time. Because every time they change something, it takes a little bit longer to do things. Now, as far as charging for the driveways and giving estimates on that, again, you want to be making the $100 per hour if that's what your wages that you need to make. And if you could do, let's say 4 driveways in an hour, the driveways would be $25 per driveway. And if you could do 3, you want to be $35 per driveway. So you want to be making what you think you need to make per hour. If the customer says they cannot afford that price, then you say you'll have to get someone else, because 9 times out of 10, if they cannot afford that price, they cannot afford to have the snow removal done in the first place. And my experience in the past is when they say they cannot afford it, they are slow paying because they don't have no money. And there will be someone out there that will take that driveway cheaper than what you will do it for. There's always someone there to do it. Because if you're plowing and you happen to hit a curb wrong and blow a hydraulic line, there's $30 and hours to do it. You know, by the time you get it all changed, you can have 2 hours into it. As far as how long it's going to take to plow out a parking lot, you will have to do some research on that. You just don't guess at how long it's going to take. You just kind of watch. Like, say next year, you know there's a parking lot coming up for bids. So throughout the winter, you'd want to pay attention to how long it takes someone else to plow that parking lot. Gives you an idea how long it's going to take for you to do that parking lot. You know, if it's your first season and you've never plowed before, I would be really doing some research and asking around. Someone will tell you how long it takes to do a parking lot. Just start asking around people you know of, and you will find somebody that has plowed that parking lot before and how long it will take to do that parking lot. And they will also tell you other problems you're going to have in that parking lot. People will always tell you what you need to know. All you got to do is ask. And as far as insurance goes, liability insurance is all over the board. I can only tell you about what my insurance is. The lawn care insurance is cheap. That's about $300 a year. The snow removal insurance for myself, just because I'm a one-man operation and I don't have large parking lots, that is about $700 a year. Now, if I was in a parking lot like Walmart or someplace like that, or a Myers that is open 24 hours a day, the insurance is quite a bit higher. Because of the amount of people and traffic that is in and out of a large parking lot like that, the insurance company will charge you quite a bit more, because the odds of you backing into somebody or somebody running into you increases a whole lot just because of the amount of traffic. Now let's just say this is your first season of snow plowing or snow blowing or any sort of snow removal, and you're not going to be doing any of the large parking lots. Start with your driveway, because you know how long it takes to do your driveway. So use that as your guide to what it's going to take for everybody else's driveway. And it should be, everybody's driveway should be pretty fairly close to what yours is. You know, some are going to be longer, some are going to be shorter. And again, you know how much money you want to make, or how much money you need to be making per hour, and just use that as your guide. And the first year, use as a learning experience. You may do really well, or you may have a few of them out there that you're going to underbid, and you will learn from that for the next time. The best thing to remember is try not to underbid yourself. It is okay to be a little bit too high and not get the job, then be too low and get the job and regret it. So yes, it is nice to have the money coming in all the time, but not always does it work out the way you want it to. You know, we all make mistakes, we all underbid, and we don't try to underbid, we just underbid because we forgot about something, or we missed something, or it took longer than we thought it was going to do, or it took longer than we thought it was going to take to plow out a parking lot. Same thing goes within the summertime when you're mowing grass. Same thing happens. You underbid a job just because you thought you could get it done faster, and it doesn't always work that way. If I figure a parking lot's going to take an hour to plow, I tack on another half hour. So I figure for an hour and a half. So if you're charging $100, charge them $150 if that's a set rate on that parking lot, and you should be pretty decent. So I guess that's all I could think of right now at this time. I hope I covered everything that people were asking about, or hope to be helping somebody else out with their bidding and what I go through. It's you know, don't be afraid to go out and take that chance of bidding on that big property. If you're going to be putting a bid in on a large parking lot and you're not comfortable with the bid that you have, do not submit it. And it's always going to come back up for bids. But if you think it's too low, it's probably too low. And you just do not want to lose a large amount of money, because one parking lot can put you in bankruptcy in one winter if you're not careful. So that is the biggest thing, is you learn as you're going and never stop learning. If you see somebody doing something that you never thought of, use it, do it. You know, go on YouTube. Somebody's going to tell you something that you never thought of. I'm on YouTube all the time and I'm still learning. I've been doing this for a long time and I'm still trying to learn what the next person is doing. Somebody just starting out and just started making videos has a different thought process and looks at it a little differently than I had been doing for a long time. And if I like what they're doing, I will do the same thing that they are. And do not, I am not afraid of changing what I do. It's always been that way. I don't have a problem making changes. I don't have a problem taking chances either. So you got to go out there and just fight for what you want. Well, I hope I rambled on here enough here. Hope I covered everything, helped a few people out, and that's going to be the end of this video. And everybody have a good evening, and we will see you at the next yard.